In this clip, we're going to work with the smiley character, and so I'm going to grab ball type on the COG, and I'm going to bring up smiley. Now, right now, smiley is not, actually the legs don't follow smiley. Smiley has these follicles, but they're in a different spot. So let's go ahead and bring up the rig group, and let's do the do not touch, and let's go down to the smiley follicles. They're showing, but they're not part of this. So let's call them the same way we did with RP, and that group, let's call them, let's call this, let's make sure our shapes, we don't need our shapes anymore. Let's go down to call it SMILFFOL group. And then we'll just double click this, copy it, and paste it, and change LF to RT. All right, we'll need to grab this group that we just created, just named. Okay, grab that follow group. We can see where it is. Again, keep in mind we can move it around if we need to. And I want to find, and this is going to be under group, and under control group, it's going to be under the left hip. I'm going to hold down my command key and click on the point constraint. And I'm going to go to constrain, point, options, make sure my weight is 0, and I'm going to click apply. Now, as we know, this is going to now give us another follicle group, or another follicle group target. Next, we're going to go down and do the same thing for the right group. Since I've got everything open anyway, I might as well do it again. This I'll just point constraint. Oops, I need to go try that. Oh, forgot. Clicked on that. Hold down my command key and click on that, and then do the point constraint. There we go. All right, so now these point constraints have two different. So I'm just going to go ahead and do them both at the same time. So I'm going to grab these little guys and give them, go to the set driven key editor. Okay. And I'm going to start with ball type. And I'm going to go to the joint constraint. This is going to be 1, and this will be 0. I'll do the same thing over here. That'll be 1. And then I'm going to key them. I'm going to have to do them individually. Okay, fine. So we'll grab both of these and key them. And key them. It's very hard to do two driven things separately. It's really tough. But we'll give it a try. We'll see what we got. So I'm going to go back to robot. Go back to my point constraints. And I'm going to have to set smiley to 0 for both of these. And then we will key it. Grab those and key them. And grab those 3 and key them. And we will go back up to bouncy. Okay, and already set. They're actually good to go. But I'll go ahead and key them again anyway, just to make sure. And then last, we'll go to Arty. And once again, we should see, yep, looking good, but we'll key them just to make sure. Okay, so now we have smiley is exactly where we want it. And again, like I said, we can take those the follicle groups and we can move them around if we need to. Okay, so keep that in mind. Alrighty, so now I do have a little bit of an issue that I'm going to have to clean up here that I noticed after everything was done. And I'm going to point it out. It's not something you want to make a habit of, but we can do it here. I originally imported smiley with the expressions already on the geometry, but I didn't put it on the individual pieces of the geometry. Instead, what I did is I put them into, I had the blend shapes, and I'm going to go ahead and show the head blend layer so you can see all these blend shapes, but they're different pieces of geometry that are grouped together. So basically I took all of these pieces, all of these groups, and then I selected the head geo group, and all of these groups, and then command click the head geo group and place the blend shape onto that geometry, onto that group, and it basically automatically put it to the geometry. But it was able to do so because each group is listed exactly the same as the target group under head geo. It's in the same exact order. That's really important because if it's not in the exact order, it will mess up, and blend shapes that mess up are really unpleasant to look at. So I'm going to hide this blend shape layer. Now what I need to do is I need to go in and I need to change my expression. I need to get my mouth open because I got to see I got a problem here. It's not a problem for the final render, but it is a problem for a display. So I'm going to go ahead and fix it. I'm going to grab this piece of geometry, or the tongue is black, and I'm going to make it go to mesh display, and I'm going to reverse the normals. Now you can see it works pretty well. And I'm going to do that for each one of these. Fortunately, these teeth are all separate pieces of geometry, and I think this came from the bad old days when in Maya when you mirrored, or when you scaled something to mirror it, it reversed the normals, and then they've fixed that, so it's not a problem. So we'll go to face, and we'll do this again for everything that's black in the viewport. That means the normals are flipped. Okay, so there we go. Now it looks much, much better. Now the problem is, small problem is, that we now, for each object, we now have a polynormal node. If this were a bone-driven deformation, I would probably want to get that out of there. As it stands, what we can do is for each of these pieces that we created, we can try and see if it'll work. We can go here and we can go to Edit, Delete by Type History, Non-Deformer History, and it did get rid of it. And we still have our expressions blend shape. Sometimes that doesn't always work. Okay, but the fact of the matter is, so in this clip, what we did is we SDK'd the legs to the head. So what I'm going to do in the next clip is take the blend shape targets, and I'm going to pull them out of our I'm going to pull them out of the blend shape editor, and I'm going to put them on a separate controller that has basically bidirectional attributes on them. So we'll do that in the next clip.